Everyone, this is the Bream Fishing Project, and in this episode, we're off to Sydney Harbour to review round 6 of the New South Wales Tournament Series. This was a very cool event, run and won on the 14th of September in 2025, and in looking back at the Facebook pages from New South Wales Tournament Series, there was a lot of old faces that I've seen from days gone by in all the various competitions. So particularly cool to see that. All right, let's roll the intros and I'll get into what's going on. Here we go.
Welcome to the Bream Fishing Project. This is where you need to be every Tuesday to find out all the latest tips and tricks to help you target bream on lures. You'll get to hear from some of Australia's elite bream competition anglers and see how they were able to achieve their results in competitions around the country. Now, here's your host, the 2019 Hobie Kayak Fishing World Champion, Andrew Deeth.
All right, here we go. So this was an absolutely stunning September morning, and it certainly makes me want to go back and fish the harbour. It's one of the events that I miss from the Hobie series, and I'm hoping that eventually we're going to see the return of Hobie kayaks to Sydney Harbour. But in any case, this one, 14th of September, we had 13 in the fish activity wheel for the minor bite period at 11:19 through to 12:49. Low tide was at 6:45 a.m. at 0.49. Running up to a high tide at 127 at 1.53. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. Okay, so up first in third place, we have team fishing.com.au, Jason Graham and Craig Norbergen. Welcome back to the show, guys.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew.
Tell us, guys, how long is it since you guys have been out and fished the harbour?
As in before the com?
Yeah.
I went out on the Saturday before it on my own.
So a week before?
Yeah. We both probably fish the harbour reasonably regularly, I'd say. Craig gets out, he's got his own boat, so he gets out a bit. But yeah, I went out on Saturday on my own just for 3 or 4 hours. Yeah.
Okay. And did you been finding fish out there?
I struggled to find fish straight up. I went east of the bridge and tried in around Watson's Bay and that, and pulled a couple of hooks on fish and then put some scent on and hooked a couple of fish and thought, oh, yeah, I'll leave them. So that was the difference there. And then come back west of the bridge and ended up hitting a wall in near Balmain, and same thing, pulled a couple of hooks and then put the scent on and they were all over it. I think I caught 2 there and left there.
I was going to say, I've got to ask, what scent is it?
Just the S Factor.
Okay.
And then I went up. I know Craig really likes to fish Lane Cove River. I like fishing there too. He's told me some spots up there and I didn't want to go near them. I just thought I'll go hit away from them. I ended up ringing him up that night and said, it's no good up there. Super dirty.
Yep.
I don't think we'll be going up there. And he said, oh, I've got some spots. We'll go up there. I said, yeah, right. Yeah, okay. We'll see how it pans out. And, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
We will. What I like about this team is you're good mates and buddies here, but when you swap over to the East Coast Bream Series, you're rivals.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, we went out fishing together on Sunday, was it, Craig?
Yeah, last Sunday, yeah.
So that, yeah, just had a look around the harbour together and, yeah, we'll be fishing against each other next time we go there.
And how, like, as we record this, this is late September, how do you reckon the harbour's fishing? Like, is it starting to pick up again?
I don't think it's fishing the best at the moment, but I think it's got to turn on soon, I think.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how it goes if we don't get any more rain over the next little period and it warms up.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what we found last weekend, it was pretty quiet actually, but we were trying to hit completely different areas to what we're probably normally fishing. You know, we were just looking around for plan Bs and Cs and that sort of thing. So it was a good day out, but yeah, fishing was a little tough.
Yeah, right. And whose boat were you on?
Mine.
Yeah.
Mine. Okay. Sorry, Jason. So what electronics are you running at the moment?
I've got 2 12-inch Garmin's and the Lowrance 12-inch.
Okay. So well covered.
Yeah.
Well covered. All right.
Yeah, got live scope. It's got everything on it. Yeah.
So you got the Garmin live scope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. And just once again, before we get started, how are you finding that?
Yeah, it's good and bad. You can do your head in some days.
Yep.
And then some day, it was actually in that comp that we had there. I seen fish on some chains or whatever, and we both thrown at them chains. And I don't even think we got a bite. And I said to Craig, they're more in it was 2 chains hanging in the water and it went down to a Y. I said, they're there. We both threw back in to more away from the chains to the centre where they would have met underwater and bang, both hooked the fish.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And if you didn't have the live scope, you wouldn't have thrown back in there.
You haven't had that cast. Yeah. I'm finding more and more it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah. I think a lot of what you're looking at is not bream as well. Like I'm only just sort of starting to work a little bit out with it. You see so much with it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, very cool. All right, let's roll around into comp day. So you guys ended up with 5 fish for 3.31. Tell us how your day started. How'd you go about getting the first couple of fish?
We headed straight to that spot west of the bridge, the wall in sort of around Balmain area, and some boat holes in there, and just pretty much started catching straight away.
Okay. What were you sort of targeting with what sort of lures and bits and pieces?
I had a Daiwa flick on in the motor oil. I had it covered in S-Factor. Craig, I think you were throwing a grub.
I was throwing a Z-Man grub, just a 2.5-inch standard in motor oil. And it was interesting when we were talking about scent a minute or two ago because, I think Jace landed the first 2 fish quite quickly and I wasn't really getting, much of a touch sort of thing. And the first cast, when I put S-Factor on it, I pulled a fish. So you never know whether it's a coincidence or not. But, first cast and, got one.
Right. Okay. So let's go through, Craig, with your 2.5-inch Z-Man. What sort of jig head are you putting in that?
I think I was using a 1/16th, I think, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so not super heavy, but a little bit.
No, and it's a Daiwa jig head.
Cool. And Jason, what are you running, mate?
In the flick, I run a 1/20th.
Okay.
Yeah, really like that lure. I've been using it for a bit. It's good for casting, but just can be really accurate with it, I find. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this interview goes, to see how the different lures potentially performed or against each other. So you started catching fish straight away. Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, I reckon we were probably there for an hour and a half. Something. I reckon we caught close to 15 fish there. They were just all around that sort of 30 fork size. I think we might have got a 33 and a 31 and maybe a 29 fork when we left there. Craig did mix it up a bit, throwing a crab and sort of thing, but they definitely wanted plastic.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Did you get any on the crab?
Not at the first spot, no. I mean, I love throwing the crab for bigger fish, and I wasn't getting really any action on it. So both of us persisted with the plastic for quite a while, and it wasn't until we made the move to the next location, which was the Lane Cove River, that we really started getting anything on the crab.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. And by the time you were there for an hour and a half or so, did you? Oh, you must have had a full bag, of course. You got.
Yeah, had a bag there. Yeah. I think the smallest fish was down to 27, 28 fork or something when we left there, from memory.
Yeah. Okay, that's good because I mean, not a big bag, but still decent. So.
I enjoy fishing like that when you've got a bag early. You can just sort of go looking for big fish, and that's why we decided to leave. We just need to try something different. And so we went to Lane Cove.
Very good. All right. Well, tell us how you went up in Lane Cove.
Yeah, well, Craig's got a bit of a spot. He likes to run up there on some boat holes and some pontoons and that. And I reckon we were there probably for a good hour or so. We'd only caught 2 small fish. Probably just at the point like throwing crabs, throwing mussels, throwing plastics, everything at them. The water was a bit cleaner than it was the day prior. I was probably the one that said, I think we've got to move. And Craig said, no, we'll just go a little bit further. And then, he can probably tell what happened there. But,
we're just going along a run of, I guess, pontoons. After we moved off the boat holes, as Jason said, we only got 2 small fish off the boat holes, and we ran along the pontoons and just threw the crab in between the pontoon and the nearest pole to the pontoon. And, the big one clunked it in there, and it was pretty shallow, actually. I think it would have only been, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 feet deep. It wasn't real deep at all in there, but, it hit it in there, and it come out pretty well. It didn't sort of drag us back in or through the poles or anything. It come out, reasonably well, and, it was a good one to hit the net. So that's the one that ended up, I think, weighing just under a kilo. But I think in any comp bag, you certainly need probably a fish around that kilo mark just to anchor things. And, we're certainly pretty happy to get that one on board because, we had a reasonable bag. We knew that one would certainly give us a bit of an upgrade and just, anchor the bag that bit better.
Yeah. And with that fish, do you remember if it took it straight away? Or did it definitely get to the bottom? How'd that sort of look?
No, it definitely got to the bottom. And so it was only a couple of feet deep. And as Jason said, the water wasn't great. It was clearer than when Jace had a look the day before, but it was still probably dirtier than what I'm used to fishing in the Lane Cove River. The water had a fair bit of colour. So I think it was one of those things that you probably had to land the lure pretty close to a fish because it probably wasn't going to see it if it was 4 or 6 feet away. So you had to land it, I think, pretty close to the fish. And, yeah, it hit the bottom first and you picked it up off the bottom.
I reckon the pontoon was close to sitting on the bottom, eh?
It was shallow.
It would have been like if there was a foot of water under it.
Okay. And what sort of leader are you running to get a fish like that out?
On my crab, I'm usually running 8-pound Sunline FC rock. I've sort of just got used to using that. The fish don't seem to shy away from it at all, and I think it just gives you that little bit more security because, as I say, when I'm throwing the crab, it is always really tight to structure. So, it is always a little bit of a battle to make sure you get it out past the pontoon and the poles and any ropes or anything hanging in the water. So, yeah, I find that 8-pound is a really good balance between giving you enough pulling power and enough abrasion resistance while still not really impacting, I guess, the fall of the lure or giving the fish too much to eyeball.
Yeah, okay. If you're fishing, say, slightly deeper water and you're throwing a crab, say, tight to a pole or whatever, are you kind of let rod tip up and keeping a bit of tension on the line, or are you trying to free spool it so it drops straight down?
No, I'm always free spooling it and just keeping an eye on the line. I think even free spooling, it's most of the time I'm trying to cast as close to structure as possible. So I don't want to put any tension on the line and potentially pull it away from the pole or the pontoon. So I'm trying to let it just fall as straight as possible while keeping an eye on the line. And, obviously you might see that little bit of a bump or a tick and you can just wind it on. But, yeah, I'm free spooling all the way to the bottom, letting it sit there for probably 5 or 10 seconds, then just giving the rod tip a bit of a shake.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. I mean, it's one of those things where you don't want it to pendulum out on the tension of the line. So you need to free spool it, but you also want to see the bite. So yeah. All right. After landing that big one, where'd you go? How'd you head off to then?
We thought we were going to catch more. And we threw crabs for probably close to 2 hours, I reckon, doing that same thing at pontoons, poles, boat hulls, everywhere, and not a touch, nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It probably kept us in that area than we should have stayed. And we sort of said that afterwards. I mean, the big fish gave us the confidence that we could get another big fish, but it didn't happen, and it kept us there probably longer than we should have stayed. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. And so then after that, was there any more fish? Did you upgrade anything else after leaving Lane Cove?
We went after that. We thought, well, let's go back to the clean water out around Gladesville Bridge, and we hit some jetties and pontoons and boat hulls there, and I think we just caught a few smaller stuff, and not much was coming on the crab either. I think we threw the crab for a long while there. Probably had 15, 20 minutes to go, and Craig said, we'll go and hit a little spot further down river. And I said, well, if we're going there, I'm going to go back to a plastic. We hit that little area, and I think it was first cast there. We got an upgrade and thought, and then Craig caught another one, and that was pretty much it. I think they both went in well to upgrade the bag.
Okay.
Both probably small upgrades. That wouldn't have been much, but
yeah, they weren't huge fish.
50 or 100 grams each sort of thing, but yeah, certainly take it. And the second one we got, it was probably 10 minutes before weigh-in, so it was a pretty quick unhook, throw it in the live well, throw one out, head back.
Yeah, that's crazy. And given, look, you're 40 grams ahead of fourth place. So that 40 grams? No, 100 grams. So those obviously make a big difference.
Yeah, they did,
yeah.
Apart from the crabs, so you're on 8-pound leader for the crabs. For your plastics, what are you guys running?
I run 4-pound. The Yamatoya, is it? Sydney Harbour,
yep. The green one with the brim on it?
Yep, that's it, yep.
Yeah, I take...
10-pound braid.
I've got 2 outfits I was throwing, and the lighter one I'm throwing 4-pound, the heavy one I'm throwing 6-pound.
Okay, very cool. All right, before we move off the fishing, I'm going to throw a random one out there. What would you guys say to someone who's fishing the harbour, like a more a beginner? What have you got any advice that you give someone to catch a couple of bream? Just generic advice.
Yeah, it's
structure.
Interesting question. I mean, I would say to somebody fishing it that just about every metre of the harbour has probably got a fish there somewhere. It's just about matching the right lure to the right water depth and the right structure. So no matter where you put the boat in, there's probably mangroves there. It's high tide. Go and throw a lure towards the mangroves. There's wharves, jetties, pontoons, boat holes everywhere. Potentially they've all got bream on it. So pick a lure and be persistent.
Definitely. Got anything to add to that, Jason?
A bit of flow. I love a bit of water current.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the things when you said you fished the Gladesville Bridge. I think if I got in my mind correctly, there's some boats out there in the current.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hit those at all?
I think we hit a couple of them. We were sort of just trying everything around there.
Yeah.
Didn't go through them all, but the wind was smashing up a bank there, and we were sort of hitting that more than whatever. But,
yeah. I mean, the reason I asked that question is I did a pre-fish there probably 10 years ago, and there was lots of current on those boats out in the middle, but they were loaded, absolutely loaded with bream.
Yeah.
And I did really well, really easily.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, guys. That is very, very cool. Now, you guys end up in third place. What do you get to take home for that one?
We got a check for $826.
Very nice. Last thing then before we shoot off is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out or say thank you to? We might start with you, Jason.
Yeah, definitely my wife and family. It takes a lot of time away doing this stuff, and they know it's just my passion, and I only have to ask for whatever hint that I want to go, and they'll let me go out. So I really appreciate that. All the other competitors and the organisers, just a great bunch of guys, and I take my hat off to all these organisers doing it. There's no way I could do it or want to do it. I just want to go fishing. They're the same, but they go to the nth degree to put these events on. So really appreciate that. You, Andrew, guys like yourself, keeps us all interested and living, listening to it and stuff like that. Really appreciate it. I'm not sponsored in any way or form or that, but I just really appreciate dealing with Adam at fishing.com. Yeah, just a great shop. You can always go in there, have a chat. Nothing's too hard for him. I know there's been many a times when I've asked for something when he's closed or when he's not going to, work gets in the way, he'll take it home or he'll leave it at the baker's or he'll drop it at my door. He's a gentleman. Service is great. And just another one I want to shout out to Blue Bottle Marine. I've got a Phoenix bass boat. I've had a couple of warranty issues with it. They didn't sell me the boat, but those guys have been gentlemen.
We'll see if he comes back.
With them. Feel really bad asking them fix a problem that I didn't buy from them. Yeah, they've stood behind the product and stepped up to the plate and helping me out with it, which is good.
Very, very good. All right, and Craig?
Yeah, look, I guess similar to Jason, but certainly first probably to Jason for having me on board and on the team.
Yeah, Craig too.
Between the team that we're fishing with in the tournament series, Jason and Christian, we've throughout this series, we've all fished with each other. I think Jason and Christian have fished a few comps. I've fished with Jason a couple. Christian and myself have fished together down at the basin. So we've sort of really juggled it and shared it around to try and make sure that we can compete in each round. So, great guys to fish with. And, we're never too serious sort of thing. We're out there really just fishing for fun and the results, are what the results are. So I think that's always important that you're not out there taking it too seriously and worrying too much about the result. You're just out there having fun. So, I've really enjoyed the series with Jason and Christian. Outside of that, I suppose Grant, the New South Wales Tournament Series team for all the work and effort they put into organising. And I think it's been a really good series, and a couple of the 2-day events I think have been, really good as well. So just mixing it up a little bit. And as Jason said, probably yourself, Andrew, for helping to promote the sport. And, people like yourself and Steve Morgan, I think, do a fantastic job of really keeping the sport visible and promoting it and getting people interested. So, I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, and look, thanks, guys, for coming on. Congratulations again. Yeah, I'll talk to you on the next one.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Okay, so coming in second place, we have Team Fanatics. They dropped their 5 fish for 3.72, which included a kicker of 960 grams, giving them second place. With me, I have Joshua Richards. Welcome back to the show, mate.
Thanks, man. How you going?
I'm good, mate. You're back on the show. Different competition, but here we are.
Yeah, same, but different,
Same, but different.
Yeah.
Still catching good fish.
That's it.
Very good. And just for the listeners, who'd you fish with on the day?
I fished with James Farr. So,
okay.
Yeah, a boater from Western Sydney.
Yeah, nice. All right. Well, leading in, this was a couple of weeks ago as we record this. Leading into it, what did you do in terms of pre-fishing, getting ready for the comp?
We both hadn't fished the harbour for a while. a bit hard to get everywhere with everything going on and that. So we went out on on the Saturday and pre-fished to look everywhere from upriver to out the front. I was lucky, like 3 weeks before, we had a yak comp in Middle Harbour. So that was kind of like a pre-fish for Middle Harbour. But yeah, we pretty well went everywhere and looked at everything and tried to put a plan together.
Right. And how'd you go in terms of fish? Did you get any?
I think I got 2 bream all day. And I think James got like 2 or 3, but we would only had 2 legal fish all day.
Wow.
From, like I said, from upriver to out the front. We went all the way out to like Vaucluse and stuff like that and all through the harbour. And we couldn't just find fish. They weren't.
Yeah, wow.
We couldn't find them.
Wow, that is crazy. With the fish that you did catch, is that what you used to develop your plan?
Yeah, pretty well. We got onto a couple later on in the harbour as the tide came up. Because from memory, like the high tide was like 2 o'clock or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We got them later in the day, just fishing high up against rock walls.
Really?
We got back to the ramp and on the we sat there and had a chat for 20 minutes and we were like, look, we just got to do that. That's all we have to do all day. Like low tide to high tide, we just got to sit there and grind it out because the fish are going to be there.
Yeah, right. Did you have any assistance from like ferry wash and stuff like that?
Nah, I don't think so. They were there no matter what.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. Even the low tide, we got fish within 2 minutes of the comp day.
Really?
We pulled up and they would fit there at peak low.
Yeah.
We had fish. It would,
Wow.
yeah. They were sitting up in anywhere from like a foot of water into, a metre and a half.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start there. Like, so you roll out of the comp and what'd you do?
We rolled out of Hen and Chicken. I think we launched like 7th or 8th out of the field. So it wasn't too bad. And we rolled out straight across. You have the Cabarita.
The marina
there.
Yep.
And pretty well opposite that, we started fishing rock walls and just rotated between like 4 rocky points through there.
Okay.
And just hit one rocky point, fit that, went to the next one, fit that, went to the next one, fit that, and then came back and just rotated through them 4 all day long.
Right. Okay. How did you target them?
We just sat off the edge and just threw either crab, like cranger crab. James was using a lot of swim.
Okay.
And I was just throwing a grub here and there pretty well and just mixed it up. And you get a couple on a grub, then you get a couple on a swim, and you get one on a crab, and it was just a bit of everything.
Right. Okay. And from the beginning, did you get legal fish straight away?
Straight away, yeah.
Wow.
Straight away. Probably had, I want to say 30 or 35 bream, I reckon, for the day.
Wow.
And maybe only 2 of them were underside. Yeah, we did really well. It would not what I thought the harbour would have put out. Because normally it's the opposite way around. You got to grind through the smaller fish to find the bigger one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they weren't all massive. We started off, we had like a bag of 350 grammers. And then, we just slowly ground them out.
Mm.
Yeah, it came right down to the last thing. As the day went on, it got better. Tide put up, more fish came in. And with the amount the para runs, we just thought the fish are going to move in.
Yeah, they're going to cycle.
Yeah, they're just going to cycle. And it was good to be able to have like a rotation of maybe like an hour and a half from start to finish. And we just grind through it backward, forward. And then we're lucky enough, James knew one wall up the front. I couldn't even tell you where it was, to be honest, but it was up towards like the harbour bridge.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, it's rough out there. Like it's in that part of the river that the boat and the ferry did just get hammered. He's like, it's going to be pretty hard to fish it, but if we can fit this 150 metres this wall, I've caught some really good fish. So we went out there and we caught like 2 small fish, and that's where James grabbed the good fish on a crab.
Okay.
But again, it was like pretty wild out there fishing. You have ferried and like a boat at midday rolling past you.
Yeah.
It's not a fun thing to be in a washing machine for too long.
No, that's right. So tell us, for someone who might be newer at it, if we go through a couple of those lures with the grub, what would you tell someone who's new to the game, like how to catch a fish on a grub?
I'm not great at grub fishing.
Okay.
I've been hit and miss with it, and depend on how and what you are fishing will depend on how you rig it. But I normally start with like a 1/16. It's normally a pretty fair ballpark. Because you can fit that from a metre of water to normally 2, 3, 4 metres of water, depending on the tide. But on the weekend, we'll just cast them right up into the bank, and you would like a vertical rock wall. and just slowly hopping it down that rock wall.
Yeah.
And that would pretty well it. Where if you fish on a pontoon and stuff like that, obviously you cast as close as you can, let it hit the bottom. And I normally shake it on the bottom rather than give it a hop.
Yeah, right.
A couple of shakes like I would a crab. And if the fish haven't eaten it by a couple of like shakes on the bottom, they're not probably there. So I just move along.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
That I fish pretty quick. So
yeah, right. But I mean, we've spoken a lot and you've done a lot of 3-pound straight through. Is that what you're running at the moment?
No, on the weekend, with the amount of rain that we had before, we went out pre-fit day. Pre-fit day, it would like chocolate.
Right.
So I didn't really like it would like pretty chocolate, but like the para can be pretty bad anyway. So I just rigged everything on 6-pound. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Braid leader, 6-pound. I don't find the harbour, especially the area we're fishing, they're not timid. They're there eating. They're there feeding. It's normally pretty good. If you're fishing like in the harbour or like around the fish market where there's a lot of activity and stuff like that, then maybe fair enough. But I find not. It's normally pretty good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think I caught a crab. I caught a bream on a crab on pre-fit day on 12-pound. So it's not,
Yeah.
I don't think it's that big of a deal in the harbour.
Fair enough. And in terms of your crabs, look, I assume it's a very similar technique if you're fishing that sort of rock walls.
Exact same. Yeah, cast it up as hard as you can and just a slow drag over the boulder into the next rock and then over the next rock into the next one until you normally get out to that like 2-3 meter mark, like in depth, and then you'd be off that rock wall and then you just have another cast.
Yeah.
That's pretty well it, yeah. And some they'd hit it on the drop, some you'd get it on the drag, some you'd have to, it would stick there for 10 seconds, you know? There was a bit of everything. There was no rhythm to it.
Yeah, right. Hard to find a pattern. All right. In terms of scents and stuff, are you running anything at the moment?
I just normally use Triple X from Steve from Calculation.
Yeah, okay. That's the Dizzy scent?
The Dizzy scent, yeah. Yeah, so that's his own scent. He's the only one that got it, that can stock it. So you have to buy it through him.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
That's mainly it. That's all I really use.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's I've heard nothing but good reports. So
yeah, and again, it probably only on soft plastic. I don't really scent my crabs or that. Just on the plastic, really.
Yeah. And on the day, look, you went far behind the leaders. Did you drop any? Is there any that you missed?
Yeah.
Come on, tell us.
We had like 25 minutes to the end, and we had one fish with like 400 grammer, and there was like a couple 400 grammers, and we pulled up, and we have two more walls or like points to hit by the end of the day, and we actually pull up, had 3 or 4 casts, and then moved to the next one. That's all we had.
Yeah.
We pull up at the first one. James cast in, hook a really good fish. I cast in, hook a good fish behind him. James pulled his hook at the side of the boat, like a really good fish.
Yeah.
Like it might have been an 800 grammer, 900 grammer.
Yep.
And I landed a little upgrade.
Yep.
And then we didn't even cast back in. By the time we color fish and all that, we rocketed up around to the next point, and the same thing happened, but I dropped my really good fish at the side of the boat, and he landed. So we both had the opportunity in the last 20 minutes for a really good upgrade.
For a good upgrade, which is all you needed.
They were the 2 fish that we dropped all weekend, which was funny enough. And I think more to the point we knew we had a little amount of time, and we were just, rushing, pulling them out.
Yep.
It would either make it or break it. At the end of the day, we didn't really care about where we finished.
Sure.
My goal was to do well, to try and give AOY a good nudge. Being first year back into a boat and doing well all year, that was my goal.
Yep.
I would sit in first place in the Yak as well. So it was like first and second, like first in the Yak, second in the boat, and we were 7 points behind Mark. So we needed a good round, and that was our main goal, to push hard for that.
Right.
If we didn't win, we didn't win. Whatever, we made the grand final. Like we had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But that was the goal for us, to push hard for that.
And I don't know, did you make Angler of the Year in this?
We did. Yeah.
Oh, you text me that, but I got it wrong. I thought you were talking about the AFT.
No, we came back. Mark ended up finishing 9th, I think, from memory.
Yeah, I think so.
And we got second, so we came back and struck it at the last minute.
How good is that?
Yeah, and that, like, more can you ask, really?
Yeah, mate. Congratulations. That's a great result.
Yeah. Going from, I've fished one time ever before with James before the start of the year.
Mhm.
And 5 days before the first comp, I get a random message from him, asked if I wanted to fish it. I jump on a phone call, and who would think, like 8 months later, we're sitting top of the leaderboard, Angler of the Year.
How good's
A
that?
lot of good placings and a lot of good memories, and unreal.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. Angler of the Year is one of those things. It's like, it's great to win a round, it's great to win a grand final, but the Angler of the Year just shows consistency over the year.
100%, yeah. And like it's probably been 8 years I've been doing comp. I've done a couple of the Berkeley series and that out of a boat with another mate.
Mm.
And mainly them being yak, and never put Angler of the Year, like being really in the top.
Mm.
I've always had good and bad rounds, and then this year both yak and both, everything just come together. So it's been good.
Yeah.
Been
Yeah,
really
that's
good. Crazy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. I reckon that's pretty good, mate. So look, you obviously had a great comp, coming in second place. What do you get to take home?
I think it was 1,200, 1,300, something like that.
Okay. Something
About
like
that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, very, very cool.
About that, which is good. Not a bad day fishing, and
Come home richer than you left. Pretty good.
yeah, definitely, yeah. We didn't come home with an empty pocket.
Yeah, very, very good. All right, mate. Last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Just everyone that ran the comp and everyone that turned up. It's been like, it's a new comp.
Mm-hmm.
The first round, who knew what would have happened? But it's been great. A lot of people turned up, and the people that have travelled for it have really made it what it is, which is really good.
Yeah, I think so.
It's good to see that, and it's filling a gap in the comp scene that have been missed for a couple of years now.
That's right. Yeah, I think they're going to go from strength to strength.
We can only hope. It's been really run. There were a couple of hiccups in the beginning, but as you can expect, everyone's human. But other than that, it was just, great to see everyone get around it and support someone having a go.
Absolutely.
That's all we can ask from everyone. But yeah, same again, like Steve from Tackle Addiction helped us out with whatever we need, and absolutely unreal. So most of the AFTs, he's there bringing me a goodie bag, but I'm like, hey, bring me this or bring me that. So it's good.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
Absolutely. That is awesome, mate. All right. Well, look, congratulations to both of you. Angler of the Year is awesome. Second in the comp's awesome. It's been a good year. Hopefully we can have a chat after one or both of the grand finals.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, both of the grand finals are held on the same day. So I kind of had to pick. So I'll be in a boat running around the Georgia River for 2 days instead of the yak.
Well, there you go. Well, that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, we will see. We'll see. The round of the Georgia, me and James didn't fish.
Mm-hmm.
So we had like a fill-in for that.
Yeah.
And we didn't do too great, but I feel like James fished a lot how I fish.
Sure.
So I think we will hopefully get in there and give it a good go. Cause
give it a red hot crack, mate.
The spot that I like to fish, you like to fish, and they can hold some big fish. So we can only hope. But no pre-fish going into it, so that going to be a bit rough.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
We're running on the fly.
Fair enough. Oh, mate, you'll be all right. All right. Fantastic, mate. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Okay, so coming in first place, we have Team Edgy Bites. They dropped their 5-fish measure weighing 3.93, which included a big brim of 1.17, just a mere 10 grams under the big brim for the comp. With me, I have Adam Hughes and Matthew Green. Welcome to the show, guys.
G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Like I often say, not as good as you guys.
That's it's been a good feeling. There's been a long time between drinks.
Yeah. Winning comps, for me, it stays with you for a few weeks.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
very good.
Make the most of it. Yeah, there's been a few silly text messages backwards and forwards, that's for sure.
Okay, so we spoke just before you came on, and part of the plan for this comp was to try and qualify. You're a bit up, not quite sure whether you were going to do the comp.
We missed a few rounds this year. We've missed a few rounds over the last couple of years. Had a bit going on personally and professionally, so getting to everything has been really difficult. And I think we'd only fished 2 and hadn't really excelled. We'd been there, but not really been at the pointy end where we like to be.
Yeah.
And we were actually joking just before the comp whether or not we should do Sydney or just can it. And we were actually talking about going up to the Clarence and doing a bass comp on the same weekend as the grand final.
Right.
And then I think we're pretty undecided, eh?
Yeah, we weren't sure. And then it just came down to a phone call, and I said, I think we just do it. There's one way to qualify for the grand final, and that's to win an event, so we'll just do that, and that'll get us in there.
And we thought that was a fantastic joke at the time.
Yeah. Yep. But here we are.
I think you rang me on the way home from work, hey? You'd had a shocker of a day and you thought, bugger it, let's just go win the thing.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a late entry. We started right down the back of the field. But, yeah, I mean, we got lucky and it paid off.
Yeah, fair enough.
No bass
fishing.
No bass fishing.
Fair enough. All right. Let's dial back. So what did you do in terms of pre-fish?
Well, it was really last minute, so we didn't actually get one.
Okay. Yeah.
We didn't get near the joint. We hadn't fished it since
the last round.
Since the last one that was up there. Probably been 12 months. And we were lucky though. So Jonesy pre-fished it on the Saturday. And I was actually out the back here cooking a barbecue for the family, and he gave me a call. And just one of the things that he said was there was a lot of that real fine, snotty weed kicking around at high tide.
Okay.
And just that thing that he said, giving us a call, letting us know how he went, kind of changed the plan for the day, and that probably got us where we got to.
Right. Okay. There you go. Okay. So then in round sort of terms, what do you guys like to fish? Are you plastics? Are you hard bodies? You cranker crabs?
I think the secret's in the name, mate.
Fair enough. So edgy bites. All right. Let's go.
No, we get a bit hassled. If we can't see the bottom, we should be in a life jacket. We're always up pretty shallow.
Okay.
Stick to what we're comfortable with.
Yeah. Just force it, make it work.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, I'm interested to see how you made it happen. So let's go into comp day. You left towards the back of the field. How did it start for you?
We didn't have to go far.
No. It started by getting lost on the way to the ramp.
It's a good start.
So we were already like in the best mood before we'd even got there. We're just laughing the whole way up because if you're going south on, North Connects to get to Sydney, when you come from Wollongong, you've done something wrong.
Something's bad there. Yeah.
So we're in stitches by the time we got there. So we're just, I don't know, tails up and just having a laugh.
Fair enough. And how much do you spend on tolls getting to there?
I have no idea.
Okay. A bit, I'd say.
A long trip.
Yeah. The thing beeps at me and I go, oh, that's no good.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then just I think in the car on the way up, we sort of spoke about, instead of, like, the original plan was to run down to the mouth of Lane Cove River and fish boats and try and get them off boats, kind of like Jamie does. And he's had really good results in the harbour. And with the dirty water, hoping the four ways might give us a few options.
Yeah.
But then hearing what Jonesy said about there being a lot of snotty weed around on the top of the tide, we had a low tide early in the morning. So instead of running down the Para, we decided to just turn around and go up to the flat at the back of Hen and Chicken Bay.
Okay. All right.
That was always on the plan. We were going to go there. We were going to try and roll in there when the water got up on it. I think I asked you for half an hour, didn't I? I think I said, just give me half an hour and let's...
Yeah, we'll see what it's like. If it happen, it'll happen. If it's not, we'll bail out and...
Back to plan A.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So and when you say up the back of Hen and Chicken Bay, you mean right up the back?
Yeah. So from the start line at Burwood there, just literally hang a big Yui and motor on. We got a couple of marks that aren't as far up and to the right. So not right at the back, it's kind of more on the leading in edge.
Yeah.
A couple of, I don't even know if it was an East Coast, wasn't it?
Yeah. We
got third in an East Coast a couple of years ago, and Matt's first fish off the flat from this mark was a 36 fork, and it anchored the bag. So a bit of confidence in the spot and got some good marks there.
Yeah, okay. Very cool. All right. So once you headed up there, when the first fish hit the well?
Fifth cast.
Yeah, about fifth or sixth cast.
Okay.
Yeah. I came up tight to this fish and it was a long way away from the boat and it just stayed out there and shook its head at me.
Okay, it's a good sign.
So fought it into the boat, was probably going way too hard on it based on what it turned out to be.
Okay.
Probably had bass drag set and not really playing the brim game. And then we saw it and then it kind of became action stations because, at that time of the day, the net's not ready, the boat's not ready, nothing's ready.
Yep. Live well's empty?
Live well's empty. And the keel guard on the bottom of the boat's got some chunks taken out of it as shallow water and all that. And at St. George's Basin, we actually lost a fish that did me on the keel guard.
Oh.
And this fish went straight back under there as well. So was very nervous.
Okay.
I come up next to the boat. Matt got it on the first net shot, and it was pretty big.
Yeah, right.
We were both shocked.
Yeah. So great start to the day.
Yeah. And we never measured it.
That was the big bream.
That was the big bream. We're both a bit superstitious.
Okay.
So the way that you deal with a big fish is you shove it in the live well, turn the live well on, and you don't speak about it until the end of the day.
Okay.
Didn't measure it, didn't look at it too much, just went,
I don't think we
that's
talked
going to
about
stay
it.
in there.
I think you just said, all right, let's make that count after that. And that was the only thing we said about that fish. We didn't measure it until we were at the ramp.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so what to measure?
39 fork.
39 forks, a solid fish. So reasonable, probably good condition to get that weight too.
Yeah, it was a decent fish.
Yeah, pretty chunky.
Yeah.
And what to come on?
Slim swim, motor oil slim swim.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Fishing, I think I was on a 16th. No, I was on a 12th. 12th on a motor oil slim swim. Normally we divide and conquer. So Greenie was throwing a Duro and I was throwing a slim swim.
Okay.
I think it was just the colour of the water. The slim swim seemed to be the lure of the day.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But I think it was just that the water was a bit dirtier and that colour seemed to attract more bites.
Yeah. It wasn't muddy, it was just had colour.
Yeah.
Okay. And with those, so when you're up the back end in Chicken Bay, were you sort of in the 1.5 metre mark? Is that where you were sitting?
Yeah,
shallow.
I run the boat in feet.
Okay. All right. So 5 feet?
Yeah, so it was 3 to 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'd start out a little deeper. It was kind of more towards 5.
Oh, yeah.
5 or 6, and then we'd move our way towards the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we were kind of getting them between those 3 to 6 foot depths.
Okay.
That was the happy place.
There was another competitor in there as well. There was only one other boat, which is great.
Yeah.
And they'd gone all the way to the far end where the mangroves are, up the back there.
Yeah.
So we just kind of picked our line and dragged ourselves up the wind.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't windy by that stage, really heavily, but...
Yeah, we had to move around.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough wind to have set yourself up for a drift. We sort of just picked our line and slowly moved along.
Yeah, just on the trolling motor, I take it. So, yeah. All right, so you got one good one in the bag. You're not talking about it. What happens with number 2?
I think you got number 2, actually.
They came pretty quick after that. Yeah, we found ourselves with a few fish, and they were all decent fish. We weren't throwing any back.
Yeah, okay.
So we had our 5 fish by, I think it was 7:45.
Yeah, 7:45.
Okay, so really quick.
Yeah. So we were pretty confident that what we were doing was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And then we just kept chipping away, doing the same thing. I think
the first bag we ended up with was like 2 24s, a 26, and a 28 forker, and the thing we hadn't measured.
And the thing we're not talking about. Yeah. Okay. So you got a couple of little ones which you really want to go. Well, probably the 3 little ones, definitely.
Yeah.
So.
And then it was 9.5 early.
Yeah, it was.
100%. Did they all come on slim swims?
No,
slim swims and Duros.
Duros, yeah.
And Duros. Okay. And in that, so you're in the back end in Chicken Bay, there's not going to be much current, a little bit of wind current maybe. How are you working your Duros? Are you flicking them hard, or what's the sit up there?
Pick and shake.
Yeah.
Just picking them up off the bottom and shaking them and then putting them back down.
Interesting.
It was subtle.
Yeah. They're not scared to hit it just sitting there, dead baiting it. So a pick and shake and then kind of a long pause, even after it's hit the bottom, to let it sit there for a bit, especially when it's still, when there's not a lot of wind. It seems that they need a bit more encouragement
a bit more time on it.
Yeah. So check it out and make a decision on it.
Yeah, fair enough. And are you guys running scent as well?
Yeah.
I'd hate to see my boat. It'd probably look like a crime scene under black light. And it's nothing fancy, mate. It's just as many tubes of S Factor as I can get into the thing.
Okay, fair enough.
I think we just kept chipping away at the upgrades and they just kept coming. We ended up crossing paths with the other boat that was in there. We found that the fish came when there was activity on the side image, like when you could see other bait fish and bits and pieces around. Like it was almost like activity created activity, which was good. There were definitely dead patches up there on the flat.
Sure.
And we just ground it out until about 9 o'clock. We didn't know then, but by 9 o'clock we had the bag that would be there at the end of the day.
Okay.
So we had 2 28s, 2 33s, and one we're not talking about.
Yeah, wow. The interesting thing about that, you got 2 28s in there. Like you could have easily gone 4.5.
Yeah.
Like easy.
Yeah. We kept saying we just needed to get rid of the 28 because you don't expect to win a Sydney Harbour round with that sort of weight.
That's right. I mean, good weight.
Yeah, but we sort of expected it to be a bit heavier. So we said we need to get rid of the 28s to have a shot.
Mm.
But yeah, so it didn't happen.
No.
Yeah, right. Okay.
After the flat, we jumped out and fished the boats in Hen and Chicken, and we just did a bit of divide and conquer, like running hard bodies along the hulls, throwing crabs at the mooring blocks, just fishing boats, just dividing it up. And
yeah, but as a team.
Really didn't get anything from them, did we?
No.
Then we ran out into the Para and kind of just ran up and down a few bays that have been kind to us in other comps. And we kept catching fish during the day. It's not like the bite stopped for us.
Sure.
It just, every other fish that we could catch seemed to be 28 fork.
Yeah. We kept catching them. It's just that we couldn't get rid of the 28.
How many 28s did we end up with?
There's quite a few.
I think we ended
like 26 to 28.
Yeah.
We got a lot of them.
Yeah, wow.
Investing in a balance beam because...
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was. I think we caught 4 more 28s. We just couldn't get the next one. And then, as Greenie said, there was quite a few other fish there as well. But
yeah, okay. What about drop fish? Did you drop any bigger fish?
One. Just the one right towards the end of the day.
Yeah,
we'd circled back into Hen and Chicken, and I dropped it. It hit me right under the boat. It was kind of a really weird eat. Thought for sure it was a flathead, and then it came to the top. And I've gone, that's not a flathead. And it just one head shake and spat it.
Oh, ouch.
Ran out in front of out in front of the motor and just shook its head.
Yeah. That was the only drop fish in the day.
It was 31-ish, I think, 30, 31.
Yeah. Yeah, so it would have put you, in the 4.
Yeah.
Probably 4.2-ish. So
just enough to pick you up a little bit.
Yeah.
It was nice to not have too many missed opportunities, though.
Yeah.
Our whole year's just been us making mistakes, and I don't feel like we made many on that Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. All right. And for if anyone out there that might be a novice or a bit newer at tournament fishing, you got any advice for someone fishing Sydney Harbour?
Find what you're comfortable doing. It probably won't be right every day, but it will be right one day.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
I think that.
Very cool.
You just got to play to your strengths, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, you want confidence in what you're doing. You don't, not on comp day anyway. And if you're going up there for a pre-fish, that's when you do your experimenting. But comp day, you want to just resort back to what you know best.
Very good. And one last thing with regards to the fishing, what sort of lines and leaders are you guys running typically?
I pretty much run J-Braid Expo now. That's a good line for its money. Usually in the 8-pound. And then leaders, I actually went up a bit this comp because we do fish Sydney very heavily related to structure and on edges. I actually went to 6. I'd normally fish it on 4 or 3.
Okay. And do you think that it mustn't have much difference because you caught fish all day? No.
It probably gave me more confidence to use 6 more often.
Yeah, right.
Especially with the water, it wouldn't burn you.
Yeah.
It was no issue. I was running 6-pound as well. And I run kind of a variety of 8-pound braids. But yeah, generally I stick to 4-pound, but seeing the colour of the water, I was pretty comfortable running a heavier leader.
I don't think we gave anything away.
No.
Yeah, okay. All right. So all of that was good enough to bring you in first place. What did you get to take home for first place?
It was 2.5.
Nice.
And a $50 gift card to Adam's shop for a Bream over a kilo.
Yep. Very nice. And a ticket to the final.
And a ticket to the final. It was actually really funny when because the weigh-in was there at Burwood in Hen and Chicken Bay, we actually put the boat on the trailer before we weighed in because we'd launched there just to get off the beach to give some room to the others. And normally Matt's the one that jumps out and weighs the fish and grabs the bag, and he's more of a social person than I am. I normally just hide in the boat. He went and got the weigh bag and he's come back to us and he's like, you might want to come to the Prezzo. I'm like, oh, no, there's too much to do. Like, I've got to get the rods in the rod locker and bits and pieces. He goes, no, mate. It was like, you might want to come to the Prezzo. And it wasn't until then when we were getting the fish out of the well that we actually got that big one out and put it on the ruler.
Yeah.
And then we were both like, oh. And then there was a fella parked next to us and he goes, yeah, right, you should go to the Prezzo.
Yeah, right.
When I was getting the weigh bag, I'd heard a few people weigh in and what weight was leading at the time. And I knew we had close to 4. I knew that we were a bit above anyone that had weighed so far. So, we were hopefully at least going to come a place.
Mm.
Didn't expect to win, but we both said that you need over 4, especially in Sydney Harbour.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, you won by just 210 grams, which is okay. Like it's a good margin. It's not 20 grams. So yeah, very good, guys. All right. Last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Yeah, absolutely. Both our partners, Tara and Jess, they're the ones that support us, let us do what we do.
Kick us out the door to make sure we do it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Showing interest. It's always nice that we can have conversations about it. And they're as stoked as we are about the whole thing.
That's an awesome point, actually. They show a lot of interest. Both of them are watching the live stream and last minute plans on the way home to go out for the pub for a celebrate, and everyone's on for changing dinner plans, which is great.
That's it. So they're going to listen to the podcast for sure.
100%.
Very good. Very good.
Probably a couple of other people would be a fella named Adam Smith. So for the Botany Bay round this year, he was our backup angler, and we had to give him a call the night before to jump on with me because Greenie had something going at home. So that means a lot that we didn't miss out on that one.
Yeah.
The South Coast connection, I like to call them. So Tomo and McBarron and Jonesy and that, like all the boys from down here, that everyone checks in on everyone and makes sure that everyone's good. A bit of information sharing, and it's just a good community.
Mm.
And then also to people like Grant and yourself who create something in our industry that people can participate in, I think it's really important. And the more that you can have available for people, the more people will catch.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. All right. Well, there you have it, guys. Congratulations once again. Great job. And hopefully we get to have a chat after the final.
Greenie actually wanted to know if you wanted to pre-record it.
Yeah, we can do that. I'd love to do that. We'll pre-record what you did and how you did it, and we'll see what happens. That's a great idea. All right. Very good, guys. Thank you so much again, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, so there you have it, everybody. With just the grand final to go with the New South Wales Tournament Series for 2025. I think it's been a great series. I look forward to covering it next year. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up super fast, and I'll talk to you next week on the Bream Fishing Project.
Thanks for listening. Hopefully you were informed, inspired and entertained. If you were able to learn something or just enjoyed listening, please consider subscribing and rate us on your favourite podcasting platform.